For joining me today. It's been a while since I've done another video. It's been almost a month. I actually wanted to go ahead and do some cooking videos because our beloved Thanksgiving is coming up and also Christmas is coming up. So I'm kind of excited for the holiday season already, and I know it's early, but I always get excited for the holiday season, and so I wanted to start making some more videos of maybe some interesting things to make for our holidays. But I had few plants that I really needed to plant today, and I decided to let's go ahead and go back into the garden again and try to plant these plants because they really need to go into the ground. So I found some really beautiful plants in a garden center which I purchased. So I have two hydrangeas today that I'm going to plant, and I'll show you where they are going. So this one is called Sunday fraise, and I'll just come up closer a little bit so you can see. Beautiful. They almost look like vanilla fraise, the strawberry vanilla hydrangeas, but this is a bit of a smaller version, and I don't think they get as deeper, has a deeper color. So anyway, this hydrangea reminds me of proven winners, maybe firelight hydrangea. They're not very big, so they will be about -1.20 high to -1.50 high. It depends on the area, and they probably will be as wide as meter and a half. So I'm really excited to fill this hydrangea with this type of paniculata hydrangeas in my garden because they have such a beautiful flowers all year round, so I kind of want that interest to it. Also, I have to say I've been really having so much fun to come into my garden and start cutting some flowers and arranging in a house. Honestly, this year I just really haven't been without fresh flowers in the house, which I'm starting to really enjoy. I have to say, before I have not ever cut flowers to take home because I just couldn't make myself cut them to bring them home because they have such a short life in the house, and I didn't have as many plants, and so I was always like trying to get them last as long as they can, and so I never could make myself cut them. But now, since I have lots of dahlias and I can harvest so much that I'm getting really excited about keeping that mindful of when I plant flowers, that anything that is massive, that I can actually enjoy them at home as well. So these are two hydrangeas that I'm going to plant. And then I purchased this amazing rhododendron from the garden center, and this one I have to put my glasses on for this one so I can read. But this one called Wine and Roses, and so it's going to be a bit of a pink color flowers. In the picture it looks like it's a bit of a coral color, but it's actually, we translated with our French neighbors this morning the name, and it looks like more of a magenta color. So so we'll see which color this actually will come out. You never know, because in the photos they're just not really that accurate. It depends what kind of a light they've been using, etc. But I fell in love with this rhododendron because of the bicolor. Look at these leaves. So they have under leaves are almost burgundy, beautiful, deep red colors. Actually it's a wine. It looks like a Merlot to me. And it has a beautiful deep green color on top. It's absolutely gorgeous. So I am incredibly excited, and this rhododendron is not going to be big. This is actually this rhododendron is actually for a smaller gardens, so it will go in during the 10 years. It will go up to maybe -1.20 and about a meter wide. So I'm going to plant probably like in a center area. I'm thinking as it grows, hopefully I will come down with the shorter plants on the side. But I'm just really excited because it's so beautiful. I can have the even when it doesn't bloom during the off season, I will still have a beautiful foliage against where I'm trying to plant this, because I'm actually planning to plant to make a little fountain right next to it. So I'm thinking this will be really great accent. Okay, so I just also wanted to plant just the small things in this area for the winter interest. I purchased few cyclamens here and some few pansies, and also I can't remember the name of this one. I think it's silverberry. Let me know. I forgot to take a look at this, but this is the first time I'm planting them. They're so pretty, and I've seen them planted so many times, but this is my first time. Anyway, let me know if I said it wrong, but I'll look it up when I go home. And but they will get a little taller, obviously, and many of you are very familiar with this. And then blue pansies here. Then I have cyclamens, just the pink ones. So I'm going to plant them here. So these guys right here, as you can see, this one has been eaten by somebody, it's probably slugs. I have 1, 2, 3. This one is doing really good. So I had a Ostromeria that was kind of been planted back there, but it was kind of lost in the plants. So I went ahead and tried to dig it out and get them, and I divided them. So I kind of spread them out around the garden, and they're red. And I honestly wasn't sure if they will look really good with the red and pink and oranges, but I have to say I'm really enjoying it. I kind of love that pocket of colors here, there, that it's kind of drawing the attention. So they're actually doing really good, but this area is kind of empty, and I wanted to fill in for the winter. And this is my clematis. It's been struggling. I have you guys the clematis. I had a really difficult time with clematis in my area. I'm really learning about where I am, because last few years has not been as rainy, but apparently having a rainy weather in our area is a normal. And so last few years it's been kind of dry, but it hasn't been normal. And so all the locals are telling me that this is a difficult area to grow clematis. However, mostly because we have, they're very, you know, the clematis are also prone to fungus, like a clemato wilt, and so too much water can affect them. So anyway, I've been researching to find what I can use for clematis to help them to get more, to develop more resistance towards the fungus. And so this year my garden really suffered from the fungus because we had so much rain, and so clematis did not do well. Some of them are hanging in there. One is doing really good, but this is the second year for that, and I'll show you. The one is doing really good. Anyway, I was researching, and I found the benign also produces systemic for the fungicide. It's called systemic fungicide. They're granules, and it's called Infuse, I believe. So I'm going to try to see if I can order from the US to get some here, because apparently for the systemic you can just throw them into the soil at the base of the plant, and over time it absorbs inside and it develops resistance towards the fungus. And so I think it's more difficult to treat them when they already have the fungus versus to prevent them from getting it. And so because every time they get the fungus or they get the wilt, it sets them back, and it's hard for them to get, hard to get them recover and come back or come around again. And so for me, this is the scenario I'm trying to think, since now I understand the problems a little better in this area. So I am, I think, going to take preventive measures to see if I can actually prevent my roses and my clematis from actually getting it. So anyway, this is about my clematis and my speech about the fungus issue that I'm having in the garden. But for any of you guys that have a rainy area that you struggle with something like that, this is something you can think about as well and try and see if this will work for you. So I'm definitely going to try that approach and see how it works. So anyway, let's go ahead and start with planting my 2 hydrangeas, and I'll show you where I'm going with that. And then I wanted to let you know that, in my new area where I'm working, I started my new project, and I already started. So one section is already finished, and I'll show you what's going on there. It's kind of a construction zone, but you'll probably get the idea. And it's not, so neat and pretty, but I'll show you. And so this rhododendron, that's where it's going. So we'll go there after the, planting all of this. So let's get started. Let's go ahead and start planting my new hydrangeas. They're called Sunday fraise. Let's go this way. Okay, so this is the area that I'm planning on planting that. This is my fertilizer, which I'm going to use. Hydrangeas. Okay, so this is where we walk into our property. This is our gate. I have a beautiful hybrid two rose here, and I'm going to plant. What I'm thinking to do is plant my two hydrangeas. One sort of kind of like here, and then the other one on the other side. So what I'm trying to do is kind of fill in a little bit. As you can see, I have planted German bearded irises here, and irises are beautiful when they actually do bloom, but when their season is over, they're just really kind of, like they really don't do much. You actually need to cut them after a while, so that's what I've been kind of doing. But that means that the area stays empty. So what I'm going to do, probably leave some irises here and see how they will get really big eventually, because they were small when I planted them. But what I'm going to do, maybe remove a little bit, and I think I will take it into my new project area and maybe plant them in a farther out, because they will bloom first when everything is still kind of not in season yet. Then hopefully after they're finished, they will be hidden, and then everything else will come up. So that's kind of my thought process. So I'm going to remove some of the irises, make room for the new hydrangeas. But the hydrangeas will be beautiful here because it will be more spectacular, and the seasons last all summer long until obviously now, even then when they're spent, they still stay on the bush really well. And so that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to get my shovel and come back, and I'll start digging. So I am finished at the moment. I went ahead and used dried manure for rhododendron and for hydrangeas. I get these ones here locally in the store. They're very inexpensive, but they're organic fertilizer. They're actually chicken manure, I think, dried, and they're specified for hydrangeas, rhododendrons, any acidic soil-loving plants. So I just threw some of those stock manure into the holes when I planted the hydrangeas. And honestly, I'm looking at it. It might be, these hydrangeas might get quite big next to the roses. So I am thinking that if they get really big, I can give them some trim on the edges, but really they're supposed to be very small varieties, so they go about 1.5 meter, no, 1 meter and 20 centimeters wide. So I think when that happens, you have to measure half. So half of the 120 will be approximately here and half here. So that's how you measure the parameter. So I'm hoping that this will not interfere with the roses, and if it does, they kind of will intermingle a little bit, and so we'll see how it does. And I mean, if it gets kind of on the way, I might give them a little trim. And if it's worst scenario, if it doesn't work out, I can always find a place for them to move. So we'll see how it goes. But I really want this area to be full and beautiful when people walk in. Anyway, now we go for the next project. And also I wanted to say that I forgot that I had some daffodils here as well. So I took some bulbs out as I was digging. But I'm going to probably put them back in certain areas or in the front, or just plant them in a different area. So I did take out lots of irises, which I will transplant in a different area. All right, so now we go for the next project. We'll get the other ones into the ground, and then we'll get the rhododendron done. Then we are finished for today, or for this project. For this type of plants, I use blood, bone, and fish fertilizer that I have at home for bulbs, and I usually use them for the pansies and just really everything. And actually, I used that last year when all the dahlias were finished. I went last year in the fall and I just kind of threw that and mixed it in the soil right on a basis. This year, since they've been blooming, I haven't even fertilized, maybe once. And they did really, really good. So I think I'm going to do that again. They respond to this really well. So anyway, that's what I'm going to do with this stuff. And I also have just a little bit of a tomato feed. This is a granule version of it, not the liquid ones. So I'm going to throw some for the cyclamens and for the pansies to just allow them just to give a little bit of a flower, like a boost for them to keep flowering in the winter time. And I need to find my scoop. Also, before we start this, I just forgot to bring the hose and pour water. I'm sure all of you guys are really confused why I didn't do that, but let me bring the hose really quick and water the hydrangeas I just planted really quick. I didn't put the water in the hole before. That's the best way to plant the shrub usually, but you probably could see that my soil is really, really wet, and so I'm not going to pour into the hole. I'm just going to pour on top, just to make sure all the air pockets are settled in the soil. So I'm going to bring my hose. I'll water the hydrangeas and then so I really like how it turned out. I think it looks really, really pretty. It still kind of flows the colors with the begonias. This begonias has been here for a few years. Like, they keep coming back every year, and I don't know if it's, it's probably warmer here than it used to. I don't know. But anyway, it's just keep coming back. I love it. They're getting big and full every year as they come out and come back. And I think this is going to be really pretty for the winter time. We still have a pocket of flower here. I might continue when the begonias die out, because they usually die out and come back. So I don't know if they will stay or not. I doubt it. I might bring some more pansies here to kind of continue. We'll see. We'll see how it works out. But it looks really nice. I kind of like doing this little pockets of places for the winter time, and they usually will stay and bloom all winter, which is nice. We still have flowers. So now we are going to plant my rhododendron, and we'll just pick up everything and go this way. guys. So you guys have seen me working on this area, and you remember the pergola that we planted, installed. So we installed this pergola, and I really haven't done anything here. So you can see this is where I started. I started this line, this rose. This is a hybrid tea rose, which I've planted. I transplanted from another spot, but it's just not its own permanent spot. This is actually a gift I'm giving to someone else. But because I planted another hybrid teas in a spot of this hybrid tea that I had, and this is a bicolor one, and I didn't care for it as much, but I can gift it to someone who can actually enjoy it. So I planted red roses, actually 2 red roses this season, one in spot of this one, which was on the other side, and then this one is another one. I probably has been only a few days since I planted this, and look, this is already budding so well. Look at that. And it's called, this hybrid tea called Le Grand Amour. It's just the name, it's so pretty. so I'm like super excited to see what it's gonna be, but it's gonna be like. But it's full, beautiful, lots of extra with lots of petals and full flowers. I'm not sure the color, but it's red tones. We'll see how it is. So this area I am finished. I started, so you can see this little circle. And I dug all this and I amended the soil, which I like the lines. It looks really nice. This is what I really want. And then I think I'm going to just place some stones, like a maintenance path, just kind of going from here to here, and then maybe cross. We'll see. I'm not sure, because it might be easier to difficult always to turn around and kind of come this way, just for something small. So anyway, I haven't really done anything here besides just digging. So what I'm going to do is level my soil with my rake, and then I'm going to plant my rhododendron somewhere right there. This area here, I'm kind of planning to build a fountain, because this is the area I really want to sit and enjoy and do maybe barbecue or something like that. And it would be really nice to have a sound of water just kind of going here, and so that's where I'm planning to probably build a fountain right here. And then rhododendron, I want to plant somewhere near the fountain, because I think the bicolored leaves will really accent the fountain really well and would be really beautiful. Even if there are no flowers during off season of the flowers, they will still be a really nice foliage as an accent. So especially the colors of the leaves are just really striking. Okay, so I'm just going to rake up the soil and even that out. Okay, so I planted the rhododendron. Now, usually when I plant rhododendrons, I like to go ahead and mix like acidic soil with my native soil here, so they will benefit from the acidity of the soil. However, I didn't do it this time. First, I don't have it in hand, and second, I'm going to just try this way and see what kind of a results I'm actually going to get. So I'm going to just leave it the way it is and see what they do. So the other ones are doing really good. This one is kind of yellow, dropping the leaves, so that has ton of blooms on them, and I think the top is looking still really good. This fall, I'm going to probably add a little more to acid soil on top, let that kind of go into get mixed into the soil for them. So I think that I'm going to take that approach this year, just kind of top it off with the acidic soil for rhododendrons. And also, if you noticed, I planted rhododendron at a slightly higher level of the hole, because that's what experts advise us to plant the rhododendrons, azaleas a little higher above level of the ground, in order to prevent from the water filling into the crown of the plant, because they really don't like sitting in a soggy water. So this way it allows water to drop down or to spill over from the crown, and just kind of makes a, you know, moist around the roots instead of just collecting into the crown. So here we go, you guys. I finished planting the rhododendron. It's looking really good. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. But right before we finish our video, I would like to go and show you my clematis, that it's doing really, really well, which gives me hope for the others. So let's go take a look at that, and then we'll finish up the video after that. Let's just go this way. Here is my clematis. Look at this. This is really beautiful. This is called the Veronica's Choice. Very beautiful double clematis. And this one was the one that I planted first in my first video on a corner right there. So since I've moved my strawberry vanilla hydrangeas on the other side, I had space available. So I went ahead and transplanted clematis here. It gets, you know, very little amount of sun, bright in the afternoon, but you know, the area is bright. You can see the sun comes out from different directions, and it's just filtered. And it seems like it's doing really good. I'm really excited. So this gives me hope that I can actually hopefully grow them. I just realized that they really don't like lots of water, so you have to really watch the water. I basically just sprinkle them, and seem like that works really well for them. I fertilized them, and as I said, I think I'm going to take that approach from the systemic that I was telling you earlier about, a benign systemic that they have for fungicide, and I think I'm going to still apply that a little bit to help them get more immunity towards the fungus. So anyway, guys, I think this is all going to be all for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe to my videos if you like them. So have a wonderful week, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.